friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about the Flower and Garden Festival. So Disney has recently announced some updates, changes, news regarding the Flower and Garden Festival. I have been several times and I actually really love it. Now, it takes place in Epcot and it occurs in the spring. This year is the 27th festival and it will happen from, let me check, March 4th through June 1st. So they have both Future World and World Showcase. The flowers are amazing, and I'll get into that in a minute. But it is included with your price of admission, so you don't have to pay anything extra to check out all of the topiaries. Now, it is primarily flowers, gardens, and topiaries. It's amazing, you guys. The things that they do, you would be blown away. I highly recommend checking it out. I absolutely love it. It's just amazing what they can do. So they have fun Disney characters that are enormous, absolutely enormous, like larger than life size or larger than life size, that are made out of flowers and foliage. It's so cool. And they have them appropriately placed in World Showcase. So for example, last year they had Belle and the Beast dancing in France. That was one of my favorites. That was hard. It was hard to get a picture of that one without other people in it because it was very popular. They had Lady and the Tramp in Italy. They had Anna and Elsa in Norway. They have the Three Caballeros in Mexico. They had Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in Germany. That's another really cool one. That one I absolutely love. That's very fun. Winnie the Pooh in the UK. I don't know if they had Jasmine in Morocco. I want to say no, but I could be forgetting that. They have some like appropriate but non-Disney characters as well. Oh, they also had Peter Pan in the UK as well. They also have some appropriate non-Disney characters, like they had pandas in the China pavilion. It is just absolutely amazing. As you can tell, I really love it. I might be in the minority here. I'm probably in the minority, but I don't drink alcohol, and I definitely prefer it to the Food and Wine Festival because you don't have drunk people. I mean, Disney does try to limit it. You know, we're not talking like spring break Cancun here, but for the Food and Wine Festival, you are going to have drunk people there. You just are. And in fact, even not during the Food and Wine Festival, you do unfortunately encounter drunk people there, but less so during the Flower and Garden Festival. So in addition to all these topiaries that they also have different food kiosks around World Showcase. So that's kind of fun. So you can try some different things. They have gardens, both like in the ground and raised, of herbs and produce. So you can see how they're grown, which is really fun. So I live in Wisconsin, in Northeast Wisconsin, and there's not a lot that grows here. It does get very warm, very hot in the summer, but because it gets so cold in the winter, a lot of things can't grow here. So if you're not familiar with how certain things grow, you can see how things grow from other countries. Very cool to see that as well. Let's see, what else? They have the Garden Rocks concert series. So in the outdoor amphitheater that they have in the American Adventure Pavilion, it's right across from the American Adventure Pavilion, and it's like right on, its back faces the World Showcase Lagoon. They have concerts there free. You can and I love the concerts that happen there because you can just walk up, and I mean, the more popular ones you would probably have to like get in line and wait for if it's a more popular performer, because they do have famous people that perform there. But you just walk up, sit down. Sometimes we'll just like hang out in the back, kind of like on the edge of the walkway, and watch for a little while, and then we'll move on. I mean, you don't have to, if you want to, you can like plan things around it, but you know, plan your day around it to attend something, but you don't have to. You can just stroll up, and then, because they tell you what times these things happen. So it's awesome. I absolutely love it. What else? Yes, the topiaries. So every year they have some that they kind of not recycle because they have to make them new every year because they're all fresh flowers and foliage, but they will repeat designs, but then they also have new designs. So this year, because there's going to be a new Ratatouille ride coming in the France Pavilion, it's not open yet, but I'm assuming that is why they're making a new Ratatouille themed topiary. So they are still going to have Belle and the Beast, is my understanding, but they're going to have a Remy, which is the mouse from Ratatouille. And let's see, what did they say? I want to get this right. There's also going to be a Ratatouille garden with Remy made out of the vegetables that you use to make Ratatouille. I think that's so cool. Like, is that something where you would be like, oh my gosh, I want to plan a trip so I can see a garden made out of Ratatouille vegetables? Okay, no. But if I'm planning a trip roughly around, you know, I know roughly when I want to go, I would absolutely pick the time of the Flower and Garden Festival to see some of these things. It's just awesome. As you can tell, I really, really love it. I really love the Flower and Garden Festival. Okay, so some of the returning ones this year. Snow White, Anna and Elsa, Belle and the Beast, Minnie and Mickey, and Kermit. The Kermit one, last year was the first time I saw it. I'm not sure how many, if it was the first year or how many years they've had it, but Kermit was riding a bike and they had Miss Piggy sitting on suitcases. We took so many pictures with the topiaries. They're just fun. And you can also get little booklets with stickers so that you can mark off when you've seen different things. So additionally, they also will add like a little kids play area, and that's usually in Future, maybe it's always in Future World. I like to say usually if I'm not absolutely certain. I've always seen it in Future World, which is awesome because if you have little kids that can't ride something like Mission Space or Test Track, they can play there, which is kind of in that same vicinity. They can play with one parent watching them while the other parent rides with the older kids. So I think it's a great idea. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to mention about this, and I want to get the name right, is called the Goodness Garden Butterfly House. I went to the Butterfly House for the first time 2 years ago, and it was so cool. I had never been in a butterfly house before. So mind you, my expectations were very low because I didn't know what to expect. I got to have a butterfly land on my finger, which is like, that's all I wanted. I'm like, it's so cool. I'd never had that happen. But you can go and see all kinds of fun butterflies. Now, because of the dates, it didn't line up with our trip this year when we went in 2019 for the Disney Princess Half Marathon. And unfortunately, it's not going to line up with our trip next year for the Disney Princess Half Marathon. I might have to get my husband to go again. I'll have to look into that. Not a huge sacrifice. But yeah, the Flower and Garden Festival, I absolutely love it. Like I said, I prefer it to the Food and Wine Festival. I think it's just cool. And I think kids would prefer it too, honestly, because while you obviously don't have to drink at the Food and Wine Festival, you can just eat things. And they do absolutely have kid-friendly options. I think in general, kids are they're a little bit more picky. Well, I think kids are a lot more picky than adults in general. But I think they don't get as excited about food as adults do. Like, my world kind of revolves around it. So I think that's not as popular for kids. So I think it'd be cool for them to see their favorite characters like Anna and Elsa in flowers and to sit by them and take pictures. And you can get pretty close. I mean, obviously you're not supposed to touch them, but you can get pretty close. So it's fun. You can, I should also mention, we saw so many little girls dressed as Belle and as Snow White taking pictures right in front of those topiaries. It was absolutely adorable. There's tons of them. So yes, this is the information I have for you regarding the Flower and Garden Festival for 2020. Like I said, it's going to be taking place from March 4th to June 1st. Definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.